Good evening, everybody. The time is 6:03 p.m. on Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Vader City Council. Roll call.
Donna Rogers. Here. Jason Daly.
Here.
Randy Hall.
Here.
Mike Parsons.
Here.
Samantha Lovelady.
Here.
Mayor Shutt.
Here. We are all here. Pledge of Allegiance. Donna, will you do the honors today?
You got time to get out?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mayor's report. We have completed the distributions for the Little Falls loot, and the businesses are submitting their final reimbursements right now, so that the city can then, of course, be reimbursed for those funds. We did get a grant from the Transportation Improvement Board for about $30,000 for almost a mile worth of chip seal work that's going to take place this coming summer around town. So it's full grant, no matching funds required. It's just free money in our pocket for street repair. So that's exciting. Council reports? Any council members have reports? Nobody? Okay. Agenda approval. Do we have a motion for the agenda? I do not have any additions.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for December 3rd, 2020.
Are we still going to discuss topic number 4?
If the council, topic number 4, Mr. Parsons asked for topic number 4 to be put on the agenda.
Oh, that was from me?
That is from you.
Yeah.
So
Are you?
we'll cancel that out.
You're going to make a motion with
Yeah.
item number 4 removed?
Yep, so city council meeting minutes for December 3rd with number 4 removed.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the city council meeting agenda with item number 4, the governor proclamation, removed. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approval. We do have 2 separate minuteses to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for city council meeting on November 12th, 2020, and the special city council meeting on November 19th, 2020.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the minutes from 11:12 and the special city council meeting minutes from 11:19. Do we have a second?
A second.
Seconded by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Voucher approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve the vouchers for the end of November for $15,469.99 for a total of November for $66,203.44.
We have a motion by Mr. Daly to approve the vouchers as written. Do we have a second?
A second.
Seconded by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Special reports by Lewis County Sheriff's Department.
Hello, I'm Drew Britt from the Sheriff's Department. The November law enforcement activity report in November of 2020, there were a total of 276 citizen contacts. There were 11 calls handled while a deputy was dedicated to the city of Vader. There were 12 traffic stops made in the city, and of those traffic stops, 2 infractions were issued. In addition to the 11 calls that occurred while someone was dedicated to Vader, an additional 20 calls occurred when a deputy was not actually here to begin with. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Fraze?
What kind of calls were you getting?
You have numerous civil, a couple disputes. We had a death investigation, some order violations. Just a gamut of, this month it was all relatively minor.
Okay.
So, any questions? Other questions?
There weren't any arrests.
No, other than issuing a criminal citation for suspended, no actual physical arrest.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fraze.
Thank you.
Moving on to city business. Item number 1, the public hearing for the final proposed 2021 budget. Hopefully you all know the process on this. We need a motion to open the hearing for a certain amount of time, a second, vote, and then we'll open it for that amount of time.
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing for the final proposal of the 2021 budget, and at 6:08 for 30 minutes or as needed.
We have a motion by Mr. Daly to open the final proposed 2021 budget public hearing for 30 minutes or as needed. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Parsons. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This public hearing for the final proposed 2021 budget is open at 6:09 p.m. This is an opportunity for the public to give their input to City Council before they discuss their final ideas for the budget. So, I open the floor to the public.
Oh, I'll go first.
Do we want them to come here? I had a really hard time on the recording last time, writing the minutes, because I couldn't hear people that were out here.
So, yeah, if you could come up or
Oh,
speak really, really loud.
Oh, I can do that. So that $30,000 grant, is that in here at all? Not yet, or is it reflected in this budget yet?
I was updating the budget. I believe I got it in the expenditures. I didn't get it in the revenue.
Where is it in the expenditure?
It'd be under streets.
That's on the second to last page. All I see is the road maintenance. is
Yeah, the
20,000.
TIB grant expenditures on page 3 of the, expenditure. Like I said, I didn't get it, in the revenue.
Is that the 31.5?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. The $2,000 you have under special events, is that for anything special? Or, I mean, what is that? Is that for May Day? Is that for 4th of July? Or whoever asked for it?
That $2,000, it's still in the budget.
It's not for May Day.
It has not been earmarked. Earmarked? Is that the word I should use? People don't like that word, but it has not been dedicated to anything. It's just $2,000 that we've set aside in case something comes up.
So if somebody wanted to...
For like an autumn festival or something like that. I think
There
we
have
talked about several.
There are a
things.
variety of things that have been talked about. I know the Lions Club was trying to get
But we were very sure
Halloween
we
thing going
wanted
on.
May Day to stay as a community.
And so yeah, there is money set aside to help out with something if it comes up.
So like a trash day, a cleanup day, or something like
We
that?
could, yeah. I mean, if we got to that point where we needed to move that money from special events to, well, I guess it's special event. I guess trash day could be special.
There's an expense for it. And there's a piece
But you're
missing between allotting the money and then giving out the money. And that would be the choose which projects we're gonna give the money to, that kind of thing. So
What
I
does that
just
mean?
want to set aside $2,000. It's not
Yeah,
designated
it's not
to any
dedicated.
specific thing right
It's
now.
not to choose.
So somebody would have to come to the council and ask, can I use $500 of that? Or something?
Well, yeah, we have to develop a process, how we're gonna do that.
Right, council would approve that expenditure,
We have
whatever.
that process now? Is that, no, okay.
And we've done it in the past for things, there's a motion and a vote, and it's public, so.
Okay, and then the new tractor, I just didn't see anything in here.
Right, so all of that stuff, everything that was talked about by council previous meeting, the tractor, the roof, all of that stuff, that is not written into this budget yet. So,
I'll have to look at that.
so.
You should have one of those, I think.
Right, so So that's kind of we have a list here of all of the things around town that council had talked about, and we've gotten some estimates from different folks on that. And we're still on the budget fund overview form that everyone has. This form here, this form, in the number in the upper right hand corner, the amount over or short of our goal. So that is the amount of money that we have extra above and beyond this budget that you have, the expenditures and everything, to play with.
71, is that the 71?
44?
It's on the,
Is that above our 2-month expenditure?
That's in
goal?
addition
Yeah.
to the 2 months that we're
Yeah.
already not spending.
Right.
So we have 2 months of
What page is
expense.
that, Joe?
This is the fund overview one.
this one,
Well, we got two, what side? I've got two sides.
This is one-sided.
the one says, estimated,
I didn't have that one. Wait, let me see if I can dig it out.
So yeah, on this form, there's,
It came with this one. So.
Okay, I only got that one.
The one with the EOY goal on it?
that's not the number, on the other page. Flip it around,
why is mine one-sided? What's this other page?
Oh, is mine one-sided? The one I gave you one-sided?
amount over and
Here you
short
go.
of goal, the
No, there's
44,000.
just two sides.
They're talking about.
Okay.
You got
Okay, what's this other side?
You're fine.
You have an extra one of these? He's got a two-sided one.
Mine's two-sided.
You have a two-sided one, Mike? What's on the other side of that?
Fun with paper. He's got two sides.
The same thing. Oh no, one blank.
Sorry.
What is that?
Mike, oh, there.
Why do you have that?
Well, so this is Mike's. This is the one I have, and then there's this one on the back. What is that one?
This is the back. Here's two-sided, so you got everything on one page. Okay.
Okay. I just did. Mine was
That was
one-sided.
mine.
So
Two
yeah.
sides, everybody else got two-sided.
Yeah.
I'll do-
So it's the one. It says it's the one where the upper right-hand corner says $44,649.
Okay, so what's the other side? We both have the same title.
The other side is year-to-date, where we are.
So we have 71,000 extra right now.
Right. And then the other side shows you projecting through December what we think we will have. Because we have not gotten December's expenses or all the income. And then we'll actually know.
Well, one says 2021.
Right. The title of it should say 2021, not 2020.
Well, it's actually tracking 2020.
Well, this was 21. Yeah, and it has the estimate here. So it's the 2020 fund. And this side is the 2021 side.
So about 44,000 roughly.
Right. So, and that's actually, like I said, that's above already having 2 months' expenses that we're not spending.
Okay, so I tried to do a search on tractors, used tractors. I don't see tractor.
Right, so we were-
So,
We asked for that. We saw some used tractors for about 15,000.
mhm.
So we are asking for the repair. John has not gotten a call back. So in the budget itself, under
So what do
streets,
you mean repair?
we talked about possibly getting it repaired instead
The
of
new-
purchasing
the old
them.
tractor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been working. John says it's been working great. It's just
That's
that the transmission and the hydraulics. And so he had a call in with,
Nothing
Yeah,
major.
like the whole thing.
well, he thinks the hydraulics might just be the pump, which would be a bolt-on repair. And so he had a call in with a company that was going to do it, and then they told him that it was going to take him 2 weeks just to get an estimate for him.
Yeah,
So-
so I put that in under the expenditures as tractor maintenance. I put $7,000 as an estimate for repairs.
So the idea was instead of, we've got new tires on that thing we just bought, and everything else has been working great with the tractor. So the
How old is
idea,
that?
I don't know.
From the 80s,
80s.
early
It's
90s
an old
maybe.
one, yeah.
But so the idea, the thinking was, well, let's take it in, get a transmission job on it, fix that hydraulic pump, and be good to go, and save ourselves some money and have it for some other items around town instead of buying a new tractor.
But you're getting an estimate for the transmission and seeing just if it's,
Yeah, and so John was thinking that if we set aside $7,000 for that, we'd be more than covered.
How many hours does the engine have on it?
I don't know. So that was the thinking. So that was the only thing that's not on this sheet of bids and estimates was the tractor. So I was talking about the budget, the 44,000 number. So you should know that number does not yet take into account the $9,000 that we're going to be reimbursed for the COVID funds that we've already expended. So you can take that number and add on another 9,000, and that's probably really closer to where we're going to be at. We haven't actually gotten that estimate back yet, or the reimbursement back yet.
So that puts us at 53,000, and the expenditures on this piece of paper are 47
Mm-hmm. Just
for the
what we
jail,
proposed,
for the city hall roof,
and not the tractor.
and not the
But remember, this is the public hearing for the folks,
oh, I'm sorry.
and we'll have an opportunity to discuss. I was kind of explaining to everybody the forms and where we were at, and obviously the public has now seen some of the things the council's looking at between some upgraded hand tool, small equipment for public works, and roofs for city hall, jail, foundation.
You were just mentioning that it's public comment, right?
So yeah. So that's it. So hopefully you all are up to speed now.
Judy has a comment.
I can't yell as loud as Cindy does. So, question, is there anything on here for cat, neutering and spading and everything? I didn't see anything.
There usually is
Like a
a
$500 thing?
there usually is a pet thing in
But
there.
I didn't see it. All I saw was going to pound. It was, you know,
Wish I had it. I could
it
search
must be
for it.
dollars or something.
Okay, we'll put that in there.
Yeah,
I
it's
know there's a lot of people waiting for the new, I know there's a lot of people waiting for the new budget to come out so they can bring get their refunds on their cat thing.
yeah. Usually we have animal.
Okay.
If you have more, go ahead.
Well, I haven't had an opportunity yet to look this over.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, there is an animal control revenue, and revenue side.
Yeah,
Right.
what about revenue?
There is an expenditure one too.
Animal control, shelter costs.
Yeah.
Is that it for shelter costs?
Well, that's the one that we have, but we can expand that for the neutering as well. And how much do you want to put in that, you think, Judy? 500, you said?
Well, I think in the past it's been 500. I don't know what,
And I think we refund, what, $15 per person?
Yeah.
So,
We haven't had anybody do that this year.
I think it's because of COVID then, because there's a lot of.
Yeah, she's not doing it, she's not taking it.
yeah, I don't
They're
think
not
they
taking
even
them.
took animals at all. I mean, I
Okay.
know, I got a cat from Kaya's, and it was like one of the first litters that they started giving back out. I mean, through COVID, so.
Okay.
You got a cat from Kaya?
From Kaya's.
You could have just gone on A Street and picked one up.
I tried that before, and they don't want to give me the one that I want. I'm serious. I've gone there.
They are vicious too.
I've even
Those
caught
cats.
one from Annie Bagger's house and given it away, but it was not friendly. Anyway, off the subject.
Okay, and where was I at? Now I've lost my place. Do we, on the park, where's the park expenditure? Here it is. This is just parks in general, it's not, is there a place that says just each park individually, or is it just all lumped together?
It's lumped together. Yeah, it does. It's just it's not by park.
So, so park improvements, you have that $2,000. We don't know what that's for, is it just for?
Right, so it's similar to the previous years with some amount of money that we've dedicated to that. And I mean, this year, for instance, we used part of it on like the painting and
Replacing all
the handholds up to the jail and things like that. So
So that other
And the
big
skirting
sheet,
on the pavilion.
So that other sheet of paper where you have your improvements listed, like for the jail, that would go there?
Right, yeah, we would end up taking the amount of money that council decides to put, and we'd put it into those line items. That way we could use it.
When are you gonna make that decision, Joe? We've asked for that for a few
Today.
years. No one's
Today.
talking to you, no
Oh,
one's talking to you.
sorry, no, not Joe.
As soon as the public hearing is done, the council will say, we want to do these things, and then next week, the final, at our next council meeting, which is next week, the final budget will be given to council along with the ordinance, and they'll approve it, and then it's a done deal.
So we can take you at your word that this year something will be done for the jail?
This is it. There's money
If
in,
we
they'll-
approve this.
if they do, there's money in the budget for it. If,
Or else.
if they approve it, there's money in the budget for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that is all my questions. I'm the only one.
If you look at this bid, the jail is on it. and
Oh, I didn't see that. Well, I saw that with City Hall Road.
We've got estimates on all those buildings.
Okay.
So the number to the right is the lowest bid in each category.
Mhm.
Okay.
On the back is equipment that we would need for public works next year.
So, Polo is the one that had the lowest bid for the foundation.
So far,
And we don't have to go, just because we have those estimates from folks on here, when it actually comes time to do the project, if these projects are selected, there'll be a formal process and everything. You know, these were just to give the council an idea, hey, generally speaking, how much does it cost, so we can stick it in the budget.
Polo is on our short works list.
yeah, he did the block work up to our house.
Kind of what he does.
And we let him live. Here you go.
Doing good now.
You didn't bury him out there?
It was close, it was a close call.
Then I have a question. If the $7,000 for tractor maintenance is in the expenditures already, does this 44, then it's already,
this report reflects what we've done in 2020 and what we're anticipating for the rest of 2020, which leaves you this money for 2021 to play, so to speak.
okay, well, I was just wondering if,
So
So
it's
the
not,
7,000 is not taken out of that.
no, it's not in this
Okay.
at all.
okay, it's not in the fund overview form.
No.
Okay. That's my question. Just want to make sure.
I'm back again.
Okay.
I'm on the expenditures and I'm looking at council supplies. Does that mean that if you use something of yours as a council person, that you could get reimbursed for that? It's $125. It's like the second or third page. I mean, you know,
Right. In the past, what we've used this for is like buying nameplates for new council members.
that type of thing.
That kind of thing, for them to function as a council.
Okay.
The notebooks that the council gets their budget packet in and things like that.
Okay. Where on here is it for staff training?
Halfway down.
Each department has a line for training.
Clerk
Correct,
training
yeah.
classes,
Mhm.
$200, is that enough?
Probably not. We could increase that. And then also there's street training and then sewer training.
And did you put 200 in both of those?
I don't have questions.
Because, yeah, I would kind of think $1,000 for the whole year for Stephanie and Diane, if they needed to take training, seems
Right.
reasonable.
Right, and we did do training this year and were able to get it paid back as a scholarship
Right.
from RMSA. So that, is not even in here, so.
Mhm.
I have another question on the sewer. The sewer person, Bill's leaving in a few months. So, do we have another person? And that wages go up or down, or do we know?
Bill has not expressed a desire to leave to me, so officially he has not said he's
He's a
leaving
good friend of my
anymore.
husband, and they
So-
worked together for 40 years, and he said he's
So,
leaving in April, and he's already told you that.
He has not told me that.
He's told somebody.
Next year, is all we know.
Not me. He has not given me a date.
Oh.
I mean,
Anyway, he's,
or,
so,
so no, nothing's been,
that's
Set.
3 months away, it
Done.
might take a while.
well, if an employee doesn't come and tell me they're gonna leave, then I don't know they're gonna leave.
What, 2 weeks?
So,
We'll find one of those guys, though.
so,
We still have that new kid, right?
we do, yeah, Jesse is still there and he has
He's getting
some
there.
skills, but he's not qualified all the way. There's actually been talk just today about perhaps John would be interested in an upgrade or of job responsibilities and get his training. And so we were talking, Diane suggested that if John was interested, we could get him trained on that. And I think he was interested. So,
Yes, he took all the paperwork I gave him and he's looking at it.
and so, you know, the hours that he's put into working on it already with Bill could count towards his certification. And so it could work out well.
Nice.
So there are some other things in process.
Well, I asked that because the sewer salary went down than what it was last year, so I thought maybe that was why. When does the loan hit the sewer fees? You know that loan that you guys have to take out?
Well, there's one that's already, there's some that go into effect this year, and that's in the budget already. The bigger ones, though, not for a couple of years, right, Diane?
Right. If you look on the last page of the expenditures, you'll see, there's like, starting with Public Works 04-691, those are loans that we are paying back
What's that at?
currently.
Oh, the interest?
It's principal and interest payments we're making already. Now, when the $4 million loans come to us, the payments will be much bigger.
When does that come?
It would be like after they finish the work, we submit all our expenditure requests, they approve everything, then there's a process. So I would say probably 2023 maybe?
That number
22?
sounds like what I saw in the paperwork.
A
Yeah.
couple of years then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will give us the opportunity of finding ways to not have to pay for it. Grants.
And build up our community so that we can split it out.
And there could be that as well. There could be additional ratepayers. There could be other grants. I'm actually working with some of the legislators on trying to get Vader on a list for what is it? It's called the capital expenditures. The state puts it out every year. It's part of their budget, and then get Vader on that list, and so they could just pay off our loan and just be done with it. So I tried to do it this year, but I was a little too late in getting involved to get it done. So we'll have a couple of years to do that.
Where's the amount of money that is owed to the city for bad sewer accounts? Where's that in here?
It's not in here.
For what?
The
People
past
don't
due
pay their
accounts.
sewer bill? Isn't that like a loss or wouldn't that be somewhere like,
Well-
we're supposed to get it at some point?
Yeah, it would be considered accounts receivable that have not been paid. And that's not reflected in these numbers. That would be in a, like a weekly operating budget or something.
Do you know how much that is at, roughly ballpark?
Right now, it's gone down some. My guess is about 20,000.
Because it looks like you only collected a small amount this year. If you look under the
Right.
revenue, under sewer.
Yeah, and we are not able to collect, we're not able to charge late fees, lien fees, collection fees right now.
Yeah, the governor has waived all of that, so we can't do anything about it.
We are collecting from old past debt, we're getting some money from those, but, yeah.
The 1,300 that you collected this year,
was either charged before COVID hit in March, or from years past, people have been paying. So yeah, we can't count on that.
We have collected some money this year on an old lien. So someone sold their home, and then we actually got our money back from the lien that was on the property. So that process works, but
Right.
someone has to leave for that to happen.
And we did renew 3 liens that had expired, so we're still up to date on those.
You are leaving these houses.
We are leaning.
And the moment we're able to do other things, I will start that process. So that includes up to and including foreclosure on these accounts where people refuse to pay. So I can't do it right now.
Okay. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Yes.
This has nothing to do with, I just want to let you know that Saturday is the walk and knock.
Huh.
I just wanted to announce that, that's why I want to know how many people are listening on this.
Okay. It's just us and
So
Samantha.
it's, drop off down at the church from 9 to 4. We still have pumpkin pies for sale through the Lions Club. We
Okay.
can't get any more plush pumpkin pies because they're not making any more pies. Not for the rest of the year. My daughter was talking on this today.
I need to cut you off because the public hearing.
Public comment?
Oh, sorry.
You want to make that?
So anybody else on the budget? Folks tend to like the wish list, huh?
I make a motion that we close the public comment, the public hearing for the final proposed 2021 budget.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to close the final proposed 2021 budget for public hearing. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I close this public hearing at 6:36 p.m. Moving on to item number 2, council to discuss the 2021 budget, which we kind of were doing already, but let's do it some more. All right, council, this is your opportunity.
I have a question for Ryan.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at the total estimated revenue and the total proposed expenditures. We have about 17,000 more in revenue. That does not include the 31.5 grant,
Yes, you're right, it does not.
so we actually have 17 plus the 31 extra from revenue versus expenditure. Correct?
Plus, we also talked about the $9,000 that I've submitted for reimbursement, we haven't gotten yet.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. I just wanted to clarify if
Sure,
that was.
sure.
I want to ask a question too. What's the updating the urban design standards? What's that? $8,000 for?
I yield the floor to the mayor.
Oh, that's a big one. Right. So, through all of our urban design standards, which would be, for instance, how streets are built, how the sewer laterals for folks' homes are built. Everything that the city, when someone wants to build something, this is outside of the International
Something
Building
like
Code,
sidewalks,
all that kind of
all
stuff.
that stuff.
That's what it is. And we have 5 chapters: streets, sewers, what are the other 3? I don't know. They're on the website. I can't remember what they are. So they're from 2005, and our city engineer, Steve Willey, has expressed concern about being able to properly make decisions based on our urban design standards, because they're kind of a mess, and they're out of date, and they're asking for things. For instance, with the sewer laterals that folks are getting installed on these new constructions, the requirements in them are extremely strict. I mean, we're not even sure why Vader would ever request this. Cammering a brand new piece of pipe that's just been put in place. Whatever, pressure testing.
Well, like
whole
engineering
bunch.
drawings to how you're going to connect to an existing sewer line.
We have it's extremely strict and also
Costly.
very messy. And when a developer comes in and they see all this, they're like, why are you doing this? It's totally unlike any other city in the area would do this.
And the other thing is that our city code, municipal code does not match what
That's true.
the design standards say.
So we have conflicting documents in the city, and so this is just that's been come out over the last couple of weeks. The engineer has suggested that at least 2 different chapters be updated: the streets and the sewers, to more current standards that are more customary for developers. I'm actually trying to get a hold of Lewis County Economic Development Commission to try to get a grant to help pay for that. But so far they haven't responded yet. It's just been the last couple of weeks. Our engineer was suggesting that it could cost $4,000 a chapter for an update, which is the $8,000 number you see, 2 chapters. Once again, it's an estimate. It could be a lot less than that, but that's what it's for.
That's understandable. We've come across a lot of that kind of stuff.
Once again, yeah, it's kind of like the development regulations we've been working on. It's to get professionals really involved, get the city up to par, and be in a position that developers really want to come here, and it's as easy as possible. Like I said, our engineer has raised this concern, and he's having problems approving building permits and engineer drawings because of it, because of the conflicting information. That's what it is. It's $8,000 for paperwork. How's that? But it ends up helping. In the end, it makes the city more desirable. It helps people. We end up spending less for our engineer because he can just approve quickly instead of having to agonize over everything. So
okay, I'm kind of lost here. Are you saying our current designs are too strict? Or not strict?
Well, for
enough?
one, we have what's in our code and what's in our urban design standards are conflicting with each other, and so I've had to actually tell the engineer to please go with this and not with this, to get things approved.
Specific, to the streets and the sewers.
Streets and the sewers in particular, like some of the issues in Alpine Court, in fact. With the new construction back there.
Okay, so I'm still not getting...
Our urban design standards,
okay.
Those particular documents are...
Outdated, not dated?
They're very unusual requirements. They are extra strict. For instance, just the sewer part of it, and they need an update so that everything matches.
We've come
Matches
across several
Well, we
things.
tell
Okay.
people they need to
We
do.
have new codes then, or we have other codes over here, and over here we have codes, and
We
they're
have
not
old
getting
codes
along.
from 2005, and then
Okay.
we have our municipal code that we just recently
Are those
updated.
updated through the state? Are these
No.
state requirements,
we
or
do
just
this.
Vader requirements?
They're Bears, yeah, and they're from 2005, and they're not really
What they
realistic.
thought were best back then.
Yeah, for 2005.
Right.
I know it doesn't sound like that long ago, but
That was a long time ago.
It was, yeah.
I don't want to think it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
But anyway, so that's what the $8,000
Thank
for.
you for the clarity.
It's for, and I actually wasn't prepared to give you all the specifics on it. I kind of forgot about it in all the goings on, but that's the gist of it. And I could send you you can see the emails from the engineer if you'd like, all the concerns he has. So,
I understand.
but
So
they're valid
I
concerns.
want to make sure that do these codes meet the requirements of the state or whatever else we have to go by.
Yes. From my understanding, I had to really think about this. Our municipal code says you must do this. The urban design standard says this is how you do this. And so we're saying we want you to do this, but over here we're saying totally different way than you need to do it.
Making it harder.
Make it
So
I
we're,
get
so we're
that,
trying to
but
make it easier for
Which one's
us to
making
get
it
to
harder?
this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're up to code with the state standards too, and government or whatever.
Well, they
Yeah.
have to approve anything that we propose like that. It has to be sent to the state before we can.
So the state approved this mess that we have now
Back in 2000.
in
Yeah.
2005. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, they looked at it and
Right, yeah.
they said, well, if Vader wants to do that, okay, but it's a lot of work for a lot of people.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's what it was for.
Well, I like this piece of paper right here. If this needs a motion, I'm willing to make a motion to approve this agenda on our next year's budget.
You can make a motion at any time you want if council's still talking
We're
about it.
discussing this, so
Yeah, I mean, there
I
are,
think everything's pretty straightforward as for what this money is for. We have enough to do it.
the only thing that's not in here is the tractor. And so if there was something you wanted to say about the tractor and a certain amount of money, throughout the year, we can,
Right.
obviously we can go through and we can shift this around to meet our needs. But
The biggest thing is
So
that
didn't
bottom
we already-
line is good. And we can move all of this
It's
stuff
good,
around
yeah.
throughout the year.
And didn't you say that somewhere in here you already set aside $7,000 for the tractor in here already, but not on that final number? but-
Right.
but,
This is in addition to what is in these.
and there's no 7,000 for the tractor in here yet.
In the expenditures, there is.
There is, okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion that we approve these into our next year's budget as written.
Are you talking about the estimates here?
The estimates, yeah,
Or the works to get done.
the works to get done.
To include those in the budget.
To include those into the budget, yes.
We're talking about this document, right?
Which is the jail foundation, the jail roof, and the city hall
Okay.
roof,
Okay,
and small equipment works, and the urban update design standards.
okay. And these are estimates.
these are estimates, yeah. When it comes time to do it, we'll have to have official bids. For the large ticket items, we'll need to get 3 bids because of, state, our rules, so. And then council will end up getting a chance to actually say, we're gonna spend the money, so, on those big ticket items.
So there's a motion.
There is a motion by Mr. Daly to approve the proposed bids and estimates that have been given to council. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Rogers.
Oh, Don.
Put that in bold in the minutes, please.
I was like, come on.
I can see where there might be some differences, because like the City Jail Foundation, that's a big difference
There's
between
wiggle
the two
room. Oh,
companies.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have to wonder why.
He's local.
Well,
Is that the only reason?
there's different methods in doing it.
Right.
And so some method, and depending on the company, they'll do it differently. So,
I see.
anyway, that's,
And he's local.
And,
I
yeah, and
like
some
that.
companies have lots of employees and others, he
Yeah.
actually digs.
Right.
so we have a first, we have a
We had a
Yeah,
second.
we have a second from Mr. Rogers. We're discussion. Any other
Get
discussion?
that written down.
I got it.
Get it while you can. You know?
Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor of approving the bids and estimates and the proposed 2021 as the 2021 budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll get all of that, all those numbers plugged in. for your final review next week, along with an ordinance for approval.
Thank you.
Yay.
Moving on to city council city business item number 3, council to discuss the proposed development regulations. So once again, these are the same things you folks have seen a couple of times before. The planning committee has had their public hearing. The planning committee, they voted and they recommend they be forwarded to council. These, excuse me?
I didn't get one. Development regulations.
There's an extra copy here if you like.
Yeah, you can have mine too. So this will also, these will satisfy the,
That's the packet.
not get these guys?
Is it the amendment codes? No.
Development regulations.
Just
What are you talking about now?
Commercial mixed use code.
Are you talking about that one we were just, I don't. Okay.
Oh, here it is.
Vader code amendments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are the ones that I emailed out to you folks last night as well. Obviously, in your email, they're red lines, right? So you can see what's new and what's.
I didn't get them.
You didn't get it last night?
They're in that big fat package we have, in the back of it.
They're not red.
They're not. These are not red. Yeah, they didn't print out red. The changes are underlined. Or excuse me.
And they're all the changes that we talked about, like the setbacks, the.
Right. These are the setbacks, the lot sizes,
Okay.
the A Street Historical District.
This would be the code amendments, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, this is the minimum lot size. This is the rear yard setbacks. This is the A Street commercial, or excuse me, the historical district. The enhanced description of what we would want down there. That's what it is. And this is, like I said, this is the same things I've explained to
We're
you.
not voting on this.
We're not voting on it tonight. And so I just wanted another opportunity for council to take a look at it. I intend to have an ordinance available for you at the next meeting for your consideration. I would really like if there's any changes that you want after we've seen it for a month or two now, that we knew this. It's already been sent to Commerce as well, and those waiting periods are done.
Okay, so I'm confused. Is this the actual commercial mixed use code changes? Is that what we're looking at, or?
Yes. So there's three different documents. There's the Vader Code Amendments document here that's single-sided.
Okay, that's the one I was, all right.
And so that one is showing the minimum lot size area there from 9 down to 7,500 feet for the minimum lot size change. Also, it talks.
And that keeps the 50 foot by 120?
Right, it keeps
Okay.
it keeps the same setbacks that we have now. It's not changing the side yard setbacks. This does include the rear yard setback change, so that if your neighbors are close to the edge, you can be close to the edge as well, instead of having to be all the way back. You know, if there's a building against the alley, and then if there's two buildings against the alley, you want to build a building in the middle, you're not required to build it all the way back.
Right.
You can take an average of the buildings in your area, and then build your building to that same standard. So that takes that into account. What else was there? Once again, it has the enhanced definition of our building, what we want for the A Street area with the historic classification. So
Very well worded.
it is. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It really is good.
50 feet high?
Excuse me?
50 feet high? That's what, 4 stories?
I think that's the maximum that's listed, right?
Is that
So
Up
50%
to.
of it has to be commercial.
Are you talking industrial, right?
So 50% of it has to be commercial.
51% of it?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Right. So this would include for that area down there. You would need to have a residential. It's what's the proper term? It's commercial primary. Commercial is the primary usage. Residential is a secondary usage. Meaning that yes, if you built a commercial building, that's great. If you can't only build residential. You could add residential, like an apartment on top of your commercial building. So it does allow for that.
49% of the back.
It allows for that.
So if I build a 4-story building, then at least 2 of the stories have to be commercial in order to fit into that 51%.
I'd have to look through exactly. I haven't considered that
Where it says
situation.
50 feet is the industrial district.
Wait, well, I'm looking
No,
at
Is
the-
that
They're
inside
playing
the
with-
commercial as well?
No, that 50 feet, you want to leave it industrial, that's fine, but 50 feet doesn't belong here in Vader.
well,
That would be
Four
like an
stories.
eyesore. It's way above all the natural buildings that we have here.
I understand your concern, but if someone wanted to build a 4-story building
Let
in
somebody
Vader, I
go-
would be
Go to
excited.
St. Louis or Seattle or someplace like that. This is Vader,
I know.
and 50 feet is too high for Vader. It does not fit here.
I don't think they have buildings like that in Longview.
Yeah, they do.
Let's see. So you're looking at
Let
the
them go along with it.
I'm just saying, yeah. I like it would ever
Commercial
come
mixed
happen,
use.
really.
Well,
But
But that's just too high stories. If you're not going to blend the old with the new, it's going to look kind of ridiculous.
40 feet.
If they both have.
It's not numbered.
yeah. So I see it there.
27.12.
But that's
that one
concerning to me because I would think that, I'm speaking out of turn, I would think that only the bottom floor would have to be.
Well, that doesn't say that though.
I
It
know,
says-
but
yeah,
still, if
you're
you
right.
had 4 floors, I mean, I only thought of like 2 stories, and so the bottom story, of course, would have to be part commercial,
Right.
but never thought of the 4-story option.
But if somebody did, they
But
could put
if somebody did.
2 or 3 things of apartments above a store, which I'm okay with if that's what they want to do, as long as they have a store as well. But I just wanted to clarify that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Commercial needs to remain the primary use of the building, not residential.
So 40, you're gonna leave 3A then at 49% for the
Right, yeah, the-
residential.
Right. Yeah. It's
Okay.
nothing. So
So I'm having a problem with this whole thing because this thing is very vague.
which part of it?
There's not, all of it is vague. There's nothing in there that says shall, and one word says shall. The rest of it is, well, you should make it look like the rest of it, but that doesn't mean they have to.
Well,
There should in here a lot. I don't like this whole thing. It's sneaky to me, and I don't like the way that there's not
well, it's certain.
anything concrete about A Street between 6 and 7 about the community action plan and how the front of those buildings are supposed to look. There's nothing about that in here.
Well, the whole
Very vague.
the whole thing is about how those buildings look.
No,
It's
it
like
isn't.
7 pages that talk
It
about
doesn't
it.
have anything to do with the community
How the
action
front
plan.
yards look, the side yards, rear yards,
I'm not
maximum
talking
height.
about, so I'm talking about the front of the building and what they were.
There's even a drawing.
There's a drawing in the
I
back.
see the drawing. I'm talking about the community action plan and the description of what those buildings are supposed to look like. And this says nothing about that. It's so vague that pretty much they can put anything in there they want to. Any way they want to.
Well,
This whole thing, it's overdone. This stuff doesn't even belong in Vader.
Do they still have to have the historical facade?
yes.
Where does it say that?
Section
New
20,
developments which are near or adjacent to older buildings of substantial historic character should be respectful of the historic building.
Does not say what kind of facade it has to have, though. It says respectful.
While
So
not
if you look at the-
while not
Yep.
mimicking the older structure, the development should consider the capability of size, shape, scale, materials.
It says it
I know, I'm
should.
reading.
It
Reading it
should.
out.
Where are you at?
the section 2712, 110.
110.
Yeah, number 1.
Yeah, number 1, and then A, roof design, overhang of eaves,
Exterior siding.
And it says
exterior
shall there.
Materials.
exterior building materials
colors,
shall
pretty
be
much
similar
there.
to the type of
There's
the word.
nothing in there, though, about what it says in the community action plan. It gives you all kinds of what you can put for siding, and you have to be respectful of the other buildings. So if you're gonna be respectful of the other buildings, you can have trash and garbage out on the sidewalk, and you can have tarps for your siding on your house. because that's the way it is across the
I got
street.
you. I got
There
you.
you go, see?
Easy on talking about tarps, that got me in trouble.
Yeah, it can get in trouble talking about your name.
So
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, if you look at, what is it, section 2712.090, the application process and review, I think it's the third page back. It talks about how there'll be a formal application with the city clerk so that it can be checked out. And if you go to the next page,
Wait a minute, I'm not on the right page here. These pages aren't numbered, so I don't know. Where you're-
right, yeah, it's section 2712.090, that's where it starts.
Application process and review.
Yeah, formal application process. Formal applications for review shall be submitted to the Vader City Clerk and shall consist of a completed application and appropriate fee. And it goes on to talk about preliminary architectural renderings. So we'll need to know ahead of time. Part of their application will be to tell us what kind of building they're building. If you can go to the next page.
Shall.
If you go to the next page, at the very top, design review. The planning committee shall serve as the design review board and shall convene during a scheduled meeting to review the project with the applicant. The design review board meeting shall consist of a presentation of the project that focus on the proposed design, on how the design meets the criteria of the Vader Municipal Code. The board shall review the proposed project. And it goes on. So it's not like they can just submit this and say they're going to do it. The city gets to still look at it and still make the final approval if it meets our
But none of that
goal.
is in here in writing. None of it is in here in writing that says those buildings shall have a wooden front on them and they shall go. Doesn't say that. Everything in here is vague and it's like open for interpretation.
No,
And
it's
you
not.
can't hold
Exterior siding
anybody.
consisting
No,
of
it's not.
wood, brick.
It's pretty straightforward.
Pardon?
No, because if you get somebody on the planning committee that does like modern stuff, and the planning committee gets to review it, you might get somebody that says, well, we
There's
don't.
more than one person on the planning committee.
well,
Yes, and they all think
And
the
they-
same. So, no, I'm not buying, this stuff is so far out there though. I mean, my God, this belongs in Seattle or somewhere.
Well, that was the issue that we ran into was when someone wanted to apply all we had before was what's crossed out on item number 1 down here. Building facades are required to be constructed of wood to a design in keeping with the early development period of the city as illustrated in the community action plan. I mean, that was it. That was the entirety of the description that we had for folks to go on.
How hard is that?
And then in the community action plan, there was a picture. That was not enough. That was vague. That was not enough.
Vague? I don't know, it sounded pretty precise to me. I mean, it's in there, it's.
And so it wasn't, which is why we voted on the moratorium, so that we had time to put this together.
Well, all I can say, to me, this is well beyond anything Vader needs.
Well, it's
And we're only talking about a block,
it's
here, right?
spec- it's specific.
Are you talking
We're talking
about
about our downtown core.
I'm saying a block. Seriously?
It's specific, and it gives a builder.
No, everything in here is vague, and it's open to whatever they want to do, and I don't see where the planning committee has any authority to, if they want to approve the recommendation, but for them to approval with conditions or denial, all this needs to come before city council, not the planning committee. I mean, they can make their recommendations to the city council, but they don't have any business approving or denying anything.
Well, our planner in the Department of Commerce seems to disagree with you because they've already approved it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys just do what you're gonna do anyway, and especially him. And I don't even want to talk about him, so.
Judy had her hand up a little bit ago.
Well, I was just questioning, I do not have this document, but is that the one that says all the things that Vader can have, like a restaurant, gas station, mortuary?
Yeah.
Is that the one that has that on there? I would like for you to add storage units to that. If you read that, it goes everywhere. You can store a boat, you can store a truck, you can store a motorhome, but you can't have storage units. So I would like for you to add storage units into that little section. if you would please look at that. Like I said, I don't have that document.
Yeah, I can
So,
have that in the wish list.
and I think it was like on the,
Where's that at?
I think it's on the front page or somewhere
it's
like
like
that.
at the
where
very
it's
beginning.
retail stores and.
Cindy, you had a hand up?
On the
Permitted
building
uses.
On the building design on 2712, it said new development should preserve. And that's not must preserve. And that's the only thing I think of, in that one little block, you know, I thought that we're gonna keep the old facades, we're gonna keep the old look, but this just says new development should preserve. So if the 5 people on the planning committee are all new people, they move into town and think, well, you know what, I kinda like what Judy has over there. And she's adjacent, so we're gonna go with, pole barn. That's not a must. You know what I mean? This should preserve, doesn't really say must preserve. And if you look at the next one down, it said, where it says that its emphasis should be placed on, well, what if someone says no? What if the new planning committee, because, you know, we're all gonna die at some point, 10 years from now.
I think those are changes that we could make between now and without having, because there's without having to send this to Commerce again for another, like, you know, multi-week review period. You know, that we can make a couple small changes like that. That doesn't.
Leave it open to
That so we could do that. We could go through and we could change.
I want to
that.
ask why it was sent to Commerce before it came before the city council. First.
Because that's the way the process works. That's why.
So the city council doesn't even get to approve this before.
Well,
it's
you
a done
absolutely
deal?
could. You could send it. You could say, you could send it back to planning committee to start all
They
over
don't want
again.
us to approve something that,
But that's why I brought it to you a couple of times before this.
Yes, but everything is too vague. And it's not that hard to see what it says. And the other thing is this descriptions of what the buildings are looked for. That's pretty plain to me. Has a wooden facade, just like this buildings. You can look at the pictures of A Street back in the 1900s. How hard is that? And this is, how many thousands does this cost us?
You know,
The step back of the floors on that section, it said that, and I only thought about this is because those streets face east-west. And this says they want you to have windows on southern exposure. And that, maybe it should, how do you do that? It says, take advantage of southern exposure for windows, skylights, and open spaces. Well, down, is this still just between 6th and 7th on A Street? Those are east-west streets. You know, the buildings face either east or west. Doug McGinnis, if he puts a window on, he's just gonna be staring at her, you know, Julie's shop, so. And if I build a building down there, I don't really wanna put a window that looks at the post office. So.
Well, there wouldn't always be, like if you put a building there, there's a 0 lot line, so it could be right up against another building
On the southern side.
on the, north and south side. It could be one building going all the way down that.
Right,
But
but it says to put windows there on the southern side. It also says you can't have a long run with no breaks in it, like a window or a recessed entryway. And that doesn't fit to those lots on the south side.
And then it's got this crazy
See what
stuff
I
in it
mean?
about people walking through parking lots, and you've got to have these breezeways or something for pedestrians to walk through. This is Vader, people, 600 people. How many of them are bicycle racks?
yeah,
This
it's
is
not
just-
gonna be all the time.
It's just too much. This is way too much for that little block. Or are you talking about the whole circumference of the commercial mixed-use area, which is mostly already established?
No, this is for the commercial,
Well, for right now,
for the historic.
the way the
historic
buildings are being
requirement.
taken care of, it won't be for long.
Pardon?
For now, but the way the buildings are being taken care of, they won't be for long. I mean, a couple of them look like they're about to fall down, so when they do fall down and somebody wants to build something else up, that's what this comes into.
Right. So this is design and use standards for A Street between 6th and 7th. It's right here, 2712-060.
Okay, but that's,
So,
it's not right for that block. This whole thing takes in that. There's nothing concrete in here with the should.
Well,
doesn't mean
like I said,
anything. It means-
if we would, I think we could change it from should to
Shall.
shall.
Shall,
And-
will, better.
Shall is will.
So we can do that. I wonder if the definition, because I know in legal terms, different words have different meanings, and should very well may
Should is
be.
like maybe.
Yeah, should is like, yeah, you should do it.
I mean,
That
I don't
doesn't mean
want
you have
to
to.
feel the fire or anything,
Okay.
but I get what she's
Okay.
saying.
So we can do that.
Change-
I think we can do that this week and have that change for you next week.
Okay, but we gotta get rid of that 50 feet. Can you just see this 50-foot building coming down off the top of the hill there? What an eyesore. Seriously, it towers over all of the buildings. If the new doesn't blend with the old and complement each other, that would be an eyesore.
Was that counting the roof too?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very-
so
That's the total,
The roof, the top.
So
total
that could
height
be a
is
three-story.
50 foot. Yeah.
It could be a three-story.
Yeah, because
high.
a lot of commercial buildings up in,
Yeah.
There were 3 stories, you're right.
It's not like a cell tower.
So I think your objection is you're missing the point. It's for the future, it could be, it's set in stone, set in the rule of the shall, should, to accommodate something that might happen, it could be 20 years from now, but at least we'll have it.
But today, it means if somebody goes and buys that property today, they can build anything they want to.
No.
Should don't mean
No, it
anything.
doesn't, it does not mean that.
Yes, they can.
I will get that.
Changing the
I can
shoulds
get
to
that
shalls.
changed.
Should,
We'll get the shoulds to the shalls.
that means you can do what you want pretty
Your
much.
50
I
foot
got you.
objection
Yeah,
is
I agree.
really,
I agree.
All right. I'll make
50
sure that's
feet's not
changed.
that
I
high.
think that's reasonable.
But
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I
3 stories
I agree
is
with,
high
I
enough.
agree with, but we
well,
can't
yeah,
just
but
say
then you got
stories.
3 stories and then you've got the
What if we have
facade
vaulted
front
ceilings on every story?
or
You know?
the,
Okay, so, but see, here's the thing. Okay, it sounds like everybody's come to the conclusion that these have to be 3 or 4 story high. What if somebody comes there? You don't know what these people want to build.
They don't have to build that
So what if they want
high.
to build that? Okay, if 3 stories is as high as they can go, then that's going to have to include the height of the roof.
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Well, Jean's house-
So that's where the
That's what
50
we
foot
just
come
said,
in,
yeah.
because also in commercial buildings, most of the ceilings aren't 8 feet.
Yeah, they're 10.
They're, 10 or
Okay.
12. I know in my
You got the
shop,
space between the floors and then the peak, so, I mean, 50 feet's a 3-story building, pretty much. That don't have a flat roof.
Well, then they need a 2-story building. And who would build a flat roof in Washington?
all of
Seriously?
Castle Rock's all flat roofs,
all flat roofs up there.
most businesses are flat roofs. Vader Grade School used to be a flat roof.
That's insane.
It was actually like this.
I used to live in the desert and all of their stores were flat roofs. And we had one of these 100-year snowstorms. All the roofs go out.
Yeah, there's actually a swimming pool not over my store, but down
Sorry.
they have like a swimming pool up on the roof and a garden area up there.
But the structure's built to hold that,
Yeah,
you know.
It's concrete,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a comment on the affordability agreement, though.
That
on
was rape
number
shop?
5.
yes, I do too.
all phones have a
So,
shut.
Okay. I stopped it.
on the affordability agreement, the second to the last page, where it says that if I decided to build a affordable housing unit, and I have for 30 years, I'm gonna have to agree to this, well, I'm not gonna live another 30 years, but,
Yes.
it locks you in there, and isn't it it says the city attorney will set the price.
So that sounds like rent control.
Yeah, so
For
in
30
30 years,
years.
I mean, you know how the rent has gone up in 30 years, even around here.
Well, on affordable housing, the rent still goes up. Like,
What's that mean then, that second sentence, Bill? Acceptable to the city.
Where are you at?
5, second to the last page, number 5. and 6,
Oh, yeah.
affordable housing units.
That's based on, the, comparing the income
Well,
of
it
everybody
says-
that lives in the town.
Provided under this article shall remain as affordable housing for a minimum of 30 years. But does that mean you can't raise the rent as time goes by? What is that, how's that
No,
locked in?
affordable housing still goes up with everything else.
Yeah, it's based on the average, not the average,
No.
but the income of
Right, I
everybody
understand
together.
that, but I'm talking about if you're, how do you interpret this as, for 30 years, does that mean they're gonna have to keep the same rent for 30 years, or does
No,
it
the
go
rent,
up?
the rent goes up like with, when I had the fourplex, it was, I ran it through the, I think it was HUD. Is it HUD? I think it's HUD.
That is called low-income housing.
And it was affordable housing, and they would raise my rent for me according to what is affordable, but it's,
Yeah, but you were allowed to sell that unit before 30 years were up, and you could sell it to somebody who may not have wanted low-income people in it. So this says that you can't change it for 30 years. It has to
So
remain.
I have a question, is that because the person that built the place gets less
benefits.
taxes or benefits from having affordable housing, and that's why they get it for 30 years, or is,
I don't know.
I don't know, I've never heard.
So
that.
then you don't build it as affordable housing and then say,
And
oh,
then, yeah,
never
sell
mind,
it
it's all
to
built and I
the
paid for it
smaller
and now I'm gonna sell it
Yeah.
and.
But it doesn't say
Yeah,
that
but
here.
what benefit does the city give
I was
someone
just
for
wondering if-
affordable housing?
If that's why it was a 30-year mandate thing.
There's a density bonus. Developments that include at least one unit of affordable housing may realize an increase in allowable density of up to 12 units per acre.
Well, that doesn't fit down.
Well, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking
Yeah, it's
about.
not.
I don't know.
This is, we're talking about a block.
Between 6 and
Here,
7
Vader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
12 units per acre.
I that would have been a good question to pose while Gary, our planner, was at the planning committee meeting, talking about this with the planning committee. Because
Well,
planning
what I'm
committee,
trying to say, if this man is a professional planner, he would never suggest this for this one block area down
there's
there. Jeez,
I
Louise,
think-
he has gone so far over the top with some of this language and, I mean,
Well,
this
the
is
language
just
is
too
everything.
busy. The size of bedrooms.
I think this affordable housing incentive may have been a requirement that needed to be put in there, if I remember correctly. It may not have been optional, but I can find out for you.
Well,
And
it's
the
just
other thing is
like
it's
all of
also
this stuff,
parking.
I mean, 10% smaller than the comparable dwelling units in the development based on number of bedrooms or less than 600 square feet for a one-bedroom unit. Is this gonna be a 10-story building or what? I mean, some of this stuff is just.
Can't be over 50 feet.
It doesn't fit though. This stuff doesn't fit. You can't put. all this
I would
in.
be so excited if someone wanted to build something that substantial
Large,
here.
yeah. The
I mean-
I would
revenue,
not be
for the
excited
city.
about that.
I mean,
It takes away from Vader.
Judy,
I would not be excited about that. I'm with Donna. I live down there and I own property down there. And I want to know where you're going to put all these cars.
Yeah.
Because we gave up our street. We now have 18 parking spots. And Samantha's house and Doug's place takes up at least 10 of them. So what's left? Cindy has no parking, and when they put something, if you build something down there, there is no off-street parking as this suggests.
Well, I'm not gonna build for poor people, so I wouldn't actually do that. But I was curious, not for low-income people.
Well, even if you build a business on your thing, you don't have anywhere to park. Where do you
I
park?
have to have.
So are you
parking
saying, Joe,
lots.
that he has decided that we have to build according to God knows what, or we can't have our own building design standards for Vader that fit Vader? These don't fit Vader.
that's why the planning committee has been working on this for 5 months.
And they come up with this
Yes.
for five.
And they've had meetings and public hearings, and there's been time
Well,
for
I
public.
have to say that I missed
time
a
for
couple of
input
those meetings, and I
and-
don't see the recordings of them on there anymore. Are
So-
they on there?
There are recordings, they're not online anywhere.
Why not?
They haven't been put online.
Well, can you put them online?
We
I
could.
could have listened to these, but I wasn't able to because, and Diane gets upset if I ask for the recordings because I have to pay for those little things or something or bring in another one. So she has a fit.
I don't have a fit, but I do ask you to bring me one.
So we, right, so I wish we would have had a lot of this input a long time ago.
Well, you brought it here tonight for input.
Right, this is the third time that I've brought it to city council.
It's still getting the input, so I'm not gonna take the rap for not listening to the other two meetings. If they'd have been online, I could have listened to them. So, these are objections, and rightfully so, I think. And, I think this needs to be looked at a lot harder than what it is.
Okay.
This is so far outside the realm of what Vader is.
Well, okay, I will take that input and see if we can't make some modifications to try to satisfy this, because if we,
I think it all makes a lot of sense. I like the idea, I agree with the shalls or the shoulds.
Yeah.
I believe, I don't know legalese that well, but if the shall, should be the shells, then I'm good with this.
I'm not good with it until we get the absolute frontage on the front of those buildings. What he drew here and what he describes as all these walkways and breezeways and driveways, there can't even be any driveways off of A Street. So, I mean, he's just gone beyond the realm of what we need for that one block there. This is a block. How many lots are there that are buildable? And the size of building that he's showing in a drawing, what if somebody just wants to build a regular size building, you know?
Then they can build a regular sized building.
Yes, but why does all of these design standards have to be in here and all of these, because he's talking all these greenways, bicycle stands, all this walkways and setbacks and it just is way too much for just that little block.
and that was the problem that we had originally, was that we didn't have enough.
I don't know how hard that was, but well, you definitely have enough here.
And the one thing I like about it is they come to the planning committee and as a group, they decide that the plan is good or the plan is not good, and they tweak it to whatever the city works for the city.
A lot of it has to do with...
All this is, it's kind of vague, but it's kind of like it gives a foundation.
There's no foundation though, Jason, when you have should in there.
I know, no, we're talking about this with the shoulds being shalls.
Shall do what though? What shall they do?
Wherever it says should, change it to shall.
It
and then we
shall
go.
be whatever you want. I mean, this is too much. It's too much. I mean, you either are gonna shall have these walkways and bicycle racks, or you're not. You can't just, he's designed this one great big huge building in his mind, that's what he's got.
It could be one great big huge building. They can butt right up to each other.
I know, but how many lots though, Mike, are
What's-
buildable there? How many lots?
1C does not allow, can't abut up, because it says you have to have a walkway or a breezeway between the two buildings. That's why I was wondering if maybe they could take that out, so you could, lot line.
Because it's a lot line
Joe,
build down there.
Joe, on 1C.
Which one?
On 27.12.120, it says that pedestrian access shall be provided, in one place you put shall, be provided to any commercial site. Maybe not make that mandatory, because if I wanted to do a lot line build and the next person's gonna have to, next to me is gonna have to.
They're going to have to put it in the breezeway.
This says walkways.
It's C, 1C.
Pedestrian access shall provide between commercial sites and adjacent areas.
So between our lot and the 3 lots next to us, we would have to put in a walkway, which is 4 feet wide, at least.
commercial site and the adjacent area. Okay. See if I get a further clarification on what that.
So, just so you don't make that mandatory.
I mean, because once again, in our design, our setbacks are for commercial use are 0, and so it would seem counter to have that in there if it actually specifically says that it's 0 in our setbacks for commercial, which it does. It's not changing.
Okay.
So it seems unlikely that is saying what we're suggesting it's saying.
What do you think it means?
I'll get clarification on that.
Okay.
So how many actual building lots are there and?
5.
There's 5 owners right now, five parcels.
How wide are the parcels? Are they
Well,
50
we got 125 feet, the guy at the end that owns the foundry, then we got 3 lots in between us and the foundry.
And they're all 50 feet wide, like they're
No.
supposed to be?
Well, no, ours is 50, the one next to us is 75, the guy at the end is 125, the post office is 4 lots.
Okay, but they're not less than 50 feet wide.
No,
Okay.
ours is the smallest.
All right. That's what I wanted to know. So there's 5 lots there, so people could build, 5 buildings on each lot. But
5 4-story buildings.
oh, jeez, Jason, I'm gonna wring your neck.
Then you can put a swimming pool up at the top and
One down below, and then they can high dive off the building into the other.
That's the new Vader we're talking about.
Pardon?
The new
the
Vader.
new Vader.
We're looking
What's
for
wrong with
growth.
this Vader? If you don't like Vader here, go somewhere else.
Unfortunately, we love Vader, but it's not stopping it from growing.
No, but it should grow in a proportionate way, and so
Right.
everything
And
fits in.
usually it does.
Yeah,
These are just provisions
nobody
that-
is pushing Vader's historical value anywhere. I mean, that is a draw here, is all the historical old homes we have here. We have a historical jail down there that's left rock off the foundation. Hopefully, people were hoping, I think.
But Joe said
That's
he's
like
gonna
goal
change
for
that.
years.
Yeah.
It's a
That
brick
is
house,
a
he
huge
doesn't-
draw for this community.
Well, that's what these standards right here are. The whole point of this was to give clarification and direction to make sure that the downtown area is the way the city
There's
wants.
nothing on here about the way the front of those buildings are supposed to look, though. There really isn't. It says shall. Maybe you could, and maybe not. And this has to be specific if you're going to make Vader be an attraction. You know, we don't have a whole lot going for us as far as what, to get people to come here and having that downtown area look like the early 1900s would be an attraction.
That's what we're going for.
Putting,
That's what we're going for. I mean, I know, but that's what we're going for.
okay, we're reading
So-
different pages then. So, and then getting the jail restored
Which-
where people can
Which
go.
we're working on that.
Oh, and that's another thing I want to bring up for the budget. I want enough money in there to print those history books. 25. The last time I did it, it was $300 and some.
25 history books.
It could be
I
done.
agree. I think we need some more of those.
Yes,
for
we
sure.
do. And the city can sell those in here, and then we get the jail open, have volunteers down there. We can sell them out of the jail too.
People ask for those often.
They
I didn't
do.
know where they came from, so.
The Vader Citizen League, and Liz Hickard put those together. And then I tried to talk her out of it, but
So do you need a
she
motion?
gave it to the city.
Oh.
And I think Kathy dumped the CD right in the trash.
I think it's here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the city has the copyright on that one book. And there is no more CDs because Liz says she's not going through that again. So the last time we had them made, I used my book, took it down to the printers, and they printed off of that one. So we can do that again. But I really would like to see that book because I know people ask for it. And we
They
couldn't
do.
keep them
They
at
do.
Judy's place.
In my place.
Yeah.
And I don't even have one for them to look at anymore. I don't know where mine went.
I've
so.
managed to rabbit mine away.
Yeah. I think mine might have been the same, and I don't know where it went.
Yeah, but a lot of people
Anyway.
ask for those. Yeah, so I'd like to
That's
see
not
the
worth
city
the
do
red
that.
house.
I thought I wanted to use.
So,
Okay. I'll see what I can get done with respect to not having to send it back through for more reviews and everything. We are a bit of on a time crunch because of moratorium expiring at the end of the month. So there's really only
End of this month, right? So
Right.
the end of the
Yeah.
year.
okay. Thank you for that input. I have it, and hopefully we can come up with something acceptable.
This will probably be reduced by several pages.
Then we get
Several
back to the
letters
same
anyway.
thing.
The word shall is shorter than should.
If there's any other discussion on the development regulations before we move on to the last item of business? All right, hearing none. Council to consider ordinance 2020-15 amending the 2020 budget. It's fairly customary for cities to have a budget amendment. In fact, it's more regular than not for a city to have a budget amendment, especially in a year such as this, for instance, where we had the COVID CARES Act funds that came in, $30,000 grant that we didn't take into account for our budget. So this budget amendment does that. It takes into account the $30,000 CARES Act money. It takes into account the grant that we got for the personal policy update. It takes into account the lawnmower and the tractor attachment. That money was in the budget, and we kind of moved it around to from other things. So it's not that we're spending money we didn't have. We're just making our budget document look pretty for the end of the year, I guess. I don't know how else to put that. So
Dotting the i's and crossing the t's.
it's just putting everything in the budget officially, even though council has approved all the expenditures already. It just tidies it up for the end of the year.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance 2020-15 amending the 2020 budget.
We have a motion by Mr. Hall to approve the ordinance 2020-15 amending the 2020 budget. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Ms. Lovelady. Any further discussion on this?
How come I had to read all the whereas last time?
Yeah. I was like, are you going to read it?
I was like, I'm not going to do this one. There's too much reading. No discussion.
That's discussion. Any other discussion? Hearing then, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2020-15, say aye.
Aye.
I heard you, Samantha. Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comment.
We have 3 people signed up.
All right.
Judy?
My name is Judy Costello, and I live at 706 B Street. It's not an abandoned old derelict house, but it's my home. And I would like all of you to know this, and please respect that in the future. I heard Kathy Hall state that no one cares about these old buildings, including the jail. And I want everyone to know that we all do. If we didn't, Jason Daly's restaurant would not be covered wall to wall with photos. And there would not be waiting lines for people to get the old book, because that thing, people want it. And that is what our history is. So we have to hang on to all these buildings, and we are the caretakers of these buildings, people. Don't think for a minute we're not.
Well, I think you're taking that.
Oh, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry,
This is
Randy,
her
I'm sorry, Randy,
Go
this
ahead.
is my time. Apologize. Second, pardon me, I have a bill that I want to turn into City Hall. It is for rat extermination on one of my properties. Now, I have been up here month after month after month talking about very large rats. I even heard you online talking about John had one at the shop. My problem is I need to call someone out for a garbage hoard that has created this rat problem. And this is not something that's going to go away until Samantha cleans up her 20 by 30 garage that is filled with household garbage. I have physically seen a large rat crossing from that property down the alley. And all of A and B Street is covered with these rats now. My only other option after this, if we can't do something with this garbage that's sitting around in people's pickup trucks, 2 of them on B Street right now are filled with garbage, and we have an ordinance. And I think we need to deal with this. My only other solution is to call the health department. And it is $200 to have the rat guy come out for anybody that needs to do it. And I know of 5 residents right now that are fighting these rats. So that is my comment.
Next.
Do I have to go up there?
Yeah, you should.
It's short. I'm not going there. Cindy Radcliffe, 1020 7th Street. My dad's house has sold. The new people are moving in tomorrow. They're a lovely couple. They're probably in their late 40s. It's Bill and Shauna Rose. So if you have a chance, you're out walking a lot, Randy, stop by, say hi. They'll start moving in tomorrow. And they seem like they're going to be a good addition to our city. And I just want to let people know.
What was their name again?
Bill and Shauna Rose. They're moving from Rose, like a flower. They're moving from Castle Rock here. So if you have a chance, you probably will see them at the restaurant. I left one of your menus on the thing for them. So if you have a chance, at least welcome them to the city.
All right. Next.
Anita King.
I already spoke out of turn.
That was the
They still have
Lions.
pies for sale down there.
That was the announcement Lions
What
Club.
was the walk and knock you're talking
Yeah, that
about?
walk and knock stuff.
Is that
Really, it is tomorrow, to add to what she said. And if you need a walk and knock bag, we have them at the cafe. And we have donation envelopes at the cafe for you to pick up and fill up and take to the church tomorrow between 9 and 4.
Saturday.
Oh, today's Thursday. Saturday from 9 to 4, yes.
Is the money for this food place or the one in Winlock?
It's the
It's-
Winlock Vader food.
Yeah.
So the church,
They're
the
combined.
Assembly of God?
What?
Assembly of God?
Wenlock
Yeah, Assembly of
and
God.
Vader combined food.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same group.
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, there's Toledo is their own organization. Winlock Vader is another. So.
Okay.
Anita, what size are the pies?
What size are they?
They're 12-inch pies.
Oh, they're like the Costco pumpkin pies.
Okay.
Sorry.
And they're $8.
And they're $8. They're frozen, so they're not.
You have any more of the strawberry rhubarb ones?
No. I might have one in my freezer at home.
But it's not gonna be $12.
That was so good. I'd
Because
pay.
I think you got my husband's blueberry.
Strawberry rhubarb was really good.
I didn't tell him.
All right. No other public comment. Elected official comments.
Yes, the attorney bill. When is that gonna stop? And when are we gonna start bringing that before the council like it should be, before giving her just an open end for this kind of stuff? $6,000.
Oh,
Yes.
$6,000 is ludicrous.
Well, and no, I can't say it. Go ahead.
You're correct. And it was, vast majority of it was for
Well, I know what it was for.
code, not code enforcement,
That
building.
also was ludicrous.
Code
building
enforcement.
code enforcement for building related issues. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So when are we gonna start doing this properly? When are we gonna start going by that limit and cutting this stuff out that only happens to one person in this town and nobody else for doing the same things? So, is this stuff gonna stop? This is some taxpayer dollars that
If-
could be spent a whole lot better place than her. She's the only one that makes money out of this whole deal.
Are you ready? The Vader
Okay.
City Council has passed ordinances and regulations and building codes, and when they are violated, we need to enforce those rules. If the City Council does not like those rules, the City Council should change those rules.
How about this? that you make everybody do the same thing. Let's go tear the roofs off all of these other houses. And let's call L&I and have all the tiles checked for asbestos. And let's treat everybody the same. Let's go take this guy over here on A Street, you know, the one that tore his roof off and burned his shingles every night in the middle of the thing. Nobody said anything about that.
On Main Street.
Somebody had a roof put on and said, geez, come over to the office, and they didn't do it. They said, oh, don't worry about it. Just pay for the roof, $86.50, and there you go. Done deal. And that's the way everybody else has been treated in this house, in this community, except for one person. And that sounds like a vendetta to me, and I'm really tired of it. The taxpayers don't need to be
I paid a
paying.
full price for my roofing permit.
Pardon?
I paid full price for my roofing permit.
Okay.
There's nothing, no gimmies on my account. So.
I'm not talking about gimmies.
May I speak?
Yes.
I'm talking about everybody putting a roof on without going through the process with this little inspector that somebody else has had to go through. And I've talked to a lot of those people too.
Please, Diane. I appreciate your input.
A lot of the discrepancies that you're seeing are things that happened prior to 2020.
This is last summer.
Well, that's before 2020, every roofing permit that we have issued has been done the same way. We have 3, and they have all paid, one 200 and something, one 300 and something, and they have been inspected. All of those things have been followed. So what we're talking about is prior to 2020.
You can say prior to anything, but the roofing has been done in this community for that many years. I've got back to 2017, all the permits. And actually, this particular permit that was issued, the price for the re-roof was $86.50, and then more things were added onto it, and then that permit was taken back and altered. None of the other permits say anything about, oh, now we have a little inspection about sheathing.
What year was that?
It was altered.
What year was that?
It was this year, and we're talking about that one person that seems to have to go through all this stuff. So this stuff back to 2017. That inspector's been here since then. It's all been the same program. It's all been the same permits. Nobody's ever had to have their shingles waiting 4 days to get an asbestos check on them. Nobody's had to do that. Nobody's had to wait for that
The city has never
inspector.
required that or asked for that.
Oh, really?
Really?
Well, golly gee, it all happened to this one person, though.
We're not
Cindy, how did
responsible.
you get your roof inspected?
That was L&I that required those asbestos.
Yeah.
Okay, but how did L&I get involved? How did L&I get involved? They're not involved in anybody else's?
It's L&I, it's not the city.
Yeah, they can come
How
in
did
anytime
L&I
they
know
want
to come down here? How did they know that? Golly gee.
The city did not ask for it. The city has.
Somebody that works for the city.
The
sure
city
did.
has not been in contact with L&I.
Well, this attorney bill is ridiculous. And unless you're gonna
It is
make everybody else
it is
start doing the
unfortunate.
same thing, then you better leave that one person alone. That's not
I-
fair.
Okay.
Do we have any roofing permits, re-roofs? Somebody tell me this, are mobile homes required to get a permit to be re-roofed?
With L&I.
They're L&I.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you check that, or do you guys care? Does it matter?
We do check that, and we're able to check.
Well, I've seen 2 mobile homes re-roofed, one this past weekend. Do you know about that?
And we've checked the ones that have been reported to us. We have checked for the permits and seen that they are there.
Yeah, and
On 6th Street?
I don't
There
have
was
that
one on
information
6th
off the
Street
top of
getting
my head.
re-roofed this past weekend, and one over on kind of 8th and D Street.
Yes, I know that one had permit.
Okay. How about the one on 6th Street?
I don't remember the addresses, but I know that they're being checked.
That was only one.
And I believe you could check yourself if you want to. The L&I website's open. It's like the county website. You can just go there and type in an address and look and see what inspections have happened
Okay,
and
well,
permits and everything.
If that's what it is, because I've heard.
Yeah,
mobile
it's
homes are
open.
different.
Yeah, you don't have to call them and contact them for anything. You can just log onto the website
Okay,
and
I
check.
just want to see a level playing field in this community.
So I wanna
Stop
s-
headhunting for
Okay,
one
I want to say
person.
something.
Go
You
ahead.
say that I have a vendetta.
Pardon?
This is about Judy's house. I'm just going to say it right now.
Okay, put
Right?
it out there.
Why would I be attacking Judy personally?
Well, that's what I want to know. Why are you?
And I
doing it?
wouldn't, because I
Quit doing it.
respect her for what she does for the community. She's got a community center. She's a community activist. She gets all of these things done. The garbage thing. She's done nothing but amazing things for the city. And at the beginning of the year, she came in. She asked for paint to help get different things around town painted up. I was very open and wanting to help her with these things. What? You say, why you accuse me, because I'm the executor of these
You're the mayor
laws.
and I'm looking at you.
You accuse me of doing
are
these things.
The executor.
Why would I personally have a vendetta against somebody I respect so much?
I don't
Why?
know. You tell me.
I wouldn't.
Then why are you doing that? Why are you costing taxpayers this much money for something that everybody else in this community has done without any consequence?
That is not correct.
It is correct.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
We have
Somebody else
Here,
agreed
yeah.
with you.
We have
I
a
am.
final,
That's the fact.
I
You
can
tell me
talk
what
about
you've
it
done
now.
to anybody else.
a hearings examiner, an impartial third party, looked at all the data.
Impartial? We're paying his bill? Our city attorney hires him? That's impartial? Oh, okay.
Looked at all the data, spent a couple hours talking about it, weeks with everyone submitting, both sides submitting all the information, and he sided fully with the city.
Of course he did.
Of course he did,
Of
because
course
we're
he did.
right. And so I'm sorry it costs that much to enforce our laws. But it
Start
costs
enforcing them
that
on
much
everybody
to
instead of
enforce
just
the
one
law.
person.
We are.
And that's what I did. I'm
When?
not going to bend the rules for people.
I can't
I'm-
talk for the previous people who ran the city, but we are.
Well, this man's been on city council for how many years, Joe?
He was not the mayor.
How many years?
Like a year.
This is like
I
7
don't
years
care if he's on
now.
city council.
I've been sitting up here for 7 years.
Okay. So don't tell me that this is all a shock to you and everybody's been treated fairly because they haven't.
I can say that I was not involved with code enforcement or building permits
You're
prior
involved with paying
to being the
attorney bills,
mayor.
aren't you?
Absolutely.
Now, I don't hear any of you say anything about the price of those attorney bills. I don't hear any of you say anything about the price of anything.
I'll say something. I think the attorney bills are high, but I also think that we need to recoup those attorney bills by increasing our fees and our penalties for that type of stuff. So that if we have to go through this, there should be penalties for paying our attorney fees at
And if we
least.
win, there should be recovery of attorney fees.
Yeah.
It really should be.
I don't think so. You guys started this against somebody that hasn't done anything any differently than
We didn't
anybody
pick and
else in
choose
this
a person.
community has.
I,
That's a fact.
I
Hey,
cannot
you-
speak for exactly how everything was involved. I know, I can, it is my perception that up until recently, the administration of this city was so concerned about spending an extra dollar to enforce our rules that they let people do things that they shouldn't have done. They intentionally let things slide to save a buck. And I understand. I really do. Money was tight, and they were really, really worried about that. I'm not that person. There-
Tell that about that.
There's a law. You follow the law.
For one person.
The council asked me to do this job. The council made those laws. I'm enforcing those laws. Enforcing our laws costs money.
Then do it fairly for everybody in the community, not just
Absolutely.
one person.
We are.
Absolutely.
No, you're not.
And
Well,
so,
we disagree with you.
Okay, disagree.
and I'm willing to just.
The attorney bill proves it. And you show me
The
anybody
attorney
else
bill
in
does
town
not
that's had a
prove it.
re I'm talking, show me anybody else in town that's had a re-roof that has gone through this. Show it to me.
It certainly
I
hasn't
have a
gone.
permit for
It certainly hasn't had to
I'm
go to
happy
this
for
extent.
you,
Well,
Jason.
you asked.
I'm talking
Here's
about
a person
other
that has a
people.
re-roof permit. And I'm telling you, I paid $300 and some for it.
Well, I'm
and
happy for
and
you.
I have
I'm
two
talking about
inspections,
other
Donna.
people.
Come on,
I'm talking
I'm
about
other
other
people. I'm
There's
a
dozens
community
of
member.
people in this town that has done re-roofs that have never even had an inspection. Some of them
Well,
never seen the inspection.
Along that line, you're saying that someone else didn't need to get it. You know, you say that, I could probably pull out information and prove you wrong, but I don't need to at the moment. What I can say is that on this particular application, It said, you will get 2 permits. There was a letter that was sent well in advance that made sure to explain it. There's 2 X check boxes, X and an X. And then
You show me all the other permits with that same thing on them.
But here's the
Let me
thing.
go, I'll take it to the people who've had reruns.
Here's
and
the
we'll
thing.
see.
It doesn't even matter.
Oh, no.
I'm not
really?
saying that you're right. I'm saying it doesn't matter. If the inspection sheet clearly says you'll get an inspection here, and then you sign it, and then you don't do it, you violated your
And then
permit.
the inspection permit is altered after the fact?
It wasn't.
It was altered.
What are you
I've
talking
seen
about?
all of the other re-roofing permits. And Judy's was the same way when she first got it. Then all of a sudden, we have this addition in there where it says re-roof has to have sheathing inspection. There isn't another permit issued for a re-roof that has that on it. Judy showed up with it all of a sudden.
Oh, you're saying that the permit application changed,
Yes, it was altered.
not the one that she signed changed.
Yours does
I
not
only
say
have
sheeting,
one.
Jason.
You're not saying. Okay, we're really digressing here. But you're not saying that hers.
Since this conversation seems to be about me.
I'm really sorry. I didn't bring it up, and I would not have brought it up. But it needed to be spoken about.
Since this is about me,
Yes.
I would like all of you to know, and I think Joe probably knows this right now, we are going to Superior Court. So buckle up.
Yeah, I see the email this
That
week.
$6,000 is going to be nothing for you.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. So,
Okay, so
and that's based on a perception that we treated you unfairly, correct?
I'm going for discrimination, absolutely, and I believe my evidence will prove it.
Okay. So,
And the fact that there is no other person in the whole wide world would have you take your roof off and then put a stop work order on you to let buckets of water pour into your house and ruin your house. I physically walked into the 3rd floor in my back door and my shoes were underwater. So much of my home is ruined because of all of this foolishness.
Well,
this stop
why
work
is
order.
everybody...
hold on.
And there is no inspector that is supposed to stop that. They're supposed to deal with what's going on. And no, that second check was not on my original permit. When I got my second one, after I had to go to the attorney because I was charged $300 for a flat fee re-roof, then, see, all of this information nobody knows about because nobody gets to hear the other side of the story. I did just like Jason. I came in and drew pictures. And my re-roof says, right in your little box, it says flat fee, $86.50. And I paid that to find out that that's not true. I was held hostage for another $200. It came to $286.50. And that's when I had to go to the attorney. And I've stood up there 3 times and said, you should never have to get an attorney to get a permit in this little podunk town. And I was abiding by all the rules. But when that permit came back to me, after I had gone to the attorney to be treated like Jason, I had an extra check on it for a sheathing inspection that isn't even required on a re-roof. So that's the other side of the story, folks. And Jason, you paid $86.50 for a re-roof. But but you're getting siding and windows and other things done, and that's included in there. Right there on your little box, it says $86.50. I saw your permit.
And then I went back and got the permit, and they charged me the $200 extra that equaled yours, I'm sure.
No, it's for I didn't get windows and siding.
I didn't put siding on there. I just put roof and a couple windows.
Okay, well, that's what the extra is on yours. It has
I
nothing.
can show you my permit.
I have your permit. It's public record. So, we are going to Superior Court.
I've said the reason why, and I stand by it.
You can stand by it, but I want to see a whole new program in this town where everybody's treated the same. And if they're going to get a re-roof, everybody pays the same. If they're gonna get extra, they all pay the same. Every one of these things are a different price. There's nothing consistent about anything here.
Well, I can assure you that that is absolutely what's happening already. So,
Well, this stuff needs to stop.
And-
So this is costing taxpayers. This is taxpayer money.
It is.
It isn't coming just out of you guys' pocket. It's this whole community that you don't take into consideration when you do something like this. Especially over nothing that could have been settled with just a little talk over there. Okay, I'm done for now.
elected official comment. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to say, Judy's comment about Kathy saying that no one cares about the historical sites and things is taken out of content, that she means no one cared about it because all the sites have gone downhill. Not that she doesn't enjoy them or like them or want them to happen. So it's been misquoted by Judy.
Well, I'll quote you what she said, because she was sitting right behind me. She said, nobody cares about the jail.
Nobody has cared about
That's
the
what
jail.
she said.
Exactly.
And that's the truth.
And
Nobody cares
it's
about
talking
the
about
jail.
what's happened to it,
Yeah.
not about the historical sites.
You said that nobody cares about the jail too.
Pardon?
You
You
said
said it
nobody
too.
cares about the jail too.
No, they don't care about the jail.
Right.
So you
And I've
guys said
seen
the
for
same
years-
thing.
You said the
and
same
here's
thing.
here's what really makes me mad, is that when I looked at that documents on buying the church property next to the jail, at that time, there was, just a minute,
No, it's my,
I'm talking.
One at a time, folks.
This was on my
One at a time,
she
please.
butted in. I didn't object.
Well,
But,
go ahead, I
however-
object then.
One at a time.
However, Mike is right. She said, you're taking what she said out of context.
Okay, we
Sure.
took it out of context, but it was said. And it is true, nobody
And you said the
cares.
same thing.
Jesus,
And so
will
is
you
everybody.
just shut up for a minute?
Hold on,
No,
folks.
Yes,
Don't-
nobody
don't
cares about the
disrespect-
jail, and I
don't
can
tell me to
will you
shut
please
up.
fucking shut
Don't tell
up?
me to shut
Excuse
up.
me,
Shut up.
both of you. We don't need to say things like that. We can
Then
talk.
don't try to yell over me.
Well, we get
Don't tell
heated.
people to shut up.
We get heated. We understand that. We can take turns and have a dialogue here. So Donna,
Let's have a dialogue.
what were you saying?
Thank you. I saw that $12,500 in 2014 in the REIT fund. All the years that we have asked for money to help repair that jail, and we were told there wasn't any money. And I didn't understand at the time what the REIT fund was for. But I see the cold calculating crap that this council has pulled, not just you, but the one before you, and for years for that, as long as Ken was in office, to let that jail fall down. That jail could have been repaired years ago. Our city buildings could have had some maintenance done to them, but they weren't. All of a sudden, we've got $90,000 for a park that only sits on one side of the property. It doesn't encompass the whole park and balance everything out. The jail side is left out of it. And the pavilion is leaking too. Has been. Nobody does anything about that. There is nothing done in this
We
town.
just approved a budget that will take care of a variety of these things
Yeah,
that we've
after
just
how
talked
many
about.
years?
Any other elected official comments? Anyone else brave enough to speak up? All right. Well, thank you for your input, everybody. This meeting is adjourned at 7:56 p.m. Good night, everybody.